Is Trevor Story back?
Great call by Lou, by the way.
Yeah.
Hello, June. Goodbye, May.
I think it was in the other order, but yeah,
well, whatever.
No, it was a good
Same
call.
thing.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, we laughed at him last week, right? Because he was saying, I think I'm close. I feel like I'm close. And boy, was he right. Can this sustain, though? That's the question. Or was it just a lucky day? Or did he just felt good yesterday?
I think a broken clock is right twice a day. That's what I think. I think it's dumb luck.
I don't even think the two hits were his best swings of the weekend. It was the second game on the ball Michael Harris robbed. He hit a ball that was 97 miles per hour. That's what Trevor Story has been unable to do. The first game, you're throwing breaking balls to him. I still don't understand why anybody would ever do that. The second game, to send 97 to the wall, okay, that's something Trevor Story hasn't done in quite some time.
Sometimes you just get lucky. Sometimes those stars will align for you.
Sometimes it rains in the desert.
Right? I mean, it does happen. I don't know. I'm not convinced yet, is what I would say. I'm not convinced. The Red Sox, though, did manage to take 2 of 3 over the weekend in Atlanta, which I think, for a moment, is a massive development, as crazy as that sounds. Losing 6 of the last 7 over the weekend and then being able to salvage a series win yesterday. It's crazy to say it based on what their record is, based on how disappointing the start has been. But, geez, it felt like they are hanging on for dear life, and they haven't let go yet.
Feels like they responded, which is good. And I know you said it too. Like, this isn't groundbreaking. This isn't something that, it's going to shake the world here, but they did what they had to do. They got to start winning a series or 2 in a row, stacking them up, just to kind of crawl back in this thing. And good for Crochet. I mean, because this guy's pitched really well this year, and they haven't given him run support. Just imagine if they just won that guy's starts. Just win 5 of those games instead of losing the 6 or whatever. Just give this guy something. But that's a good day. Good day for them. Good weekend. Good weekend. Got the Yankees coming soon, but that'll be the litmus test, right?
No, not necessarily. I mean, they've played plenty of mediocre teams that they have failed against, which to me is a more important litmus test than losing to a good team. This team's ability to beat up on bad teams is what to me is more important for where they are record-wise at the end of the year.
True, and then he tried to steal a couple. Yeah, but the Yankees got pounded by the Dodgers the other day. Like, that was when Mookie was out. They got their ass kicked. Yeah, it's a good start. Good start for them for the month.
Will there be hope produced for us as fans with this team in the coming weeks and the next couple of months? That's really what I'm now most interested in, because it's important. It's important that we have hope. It's important that we have a reason to feel engaged. Yeah. It's important to feel like this team could pull off an epic comeback over the course of the next 3 months to put themselves in a wild card spot. I think we need that. I do. Milliken, we need hope.
I don't disagree. It just feels like the entire baseball world, like vultures, is starting to look at your roster. And now you're hearing Chapman and Jarren Duran and trade rumors. And it's like, we still got 2 months to go, and teams are already like, yeah, they're in deep trouble.
Oh, God, you thought Chapman was going to get hurt.
Well, yeah, that was scary yesterday. And I think the other part of it is you look at how they won this series. It was Trevor Story and Abraham Toro, who batting cleanup, you're now making sure has to be in the lineup because those are the bats you really leaned on in the series. Devers had a couple hits, but outside of those guys, Story and Toro, how much can you hold on and cling to that, really? It doesn't feel great, and you just lost your setup man in Justin Slayton, who is arguably your most dependable arm outside of Chapman, someone you've used in different spots. Now you need to find a way to survive at least 2 weeks without him.
Well, the way for this team to actually turn things around in like a short amount of time is their starting pitching produces better results. That their starters go out and pitch better than they have. If Brian Bayo finds a way to be the guy we thought he could be, that would be immediately helpful. That doesn't require a roster change, doesn't require a call-up, just requires guys that are currently here to do their job better than they have. Yeah. That's the fastest way for them to start winning more games.
Yeah, expect Crochet to. The
I'm not
question is,
predicting
can you trust the rest of the pitching is the real question. And I'd say no.
Like, you see it in flashes. You see Giolito pitch well, and you're like, well, there's really something there.
But he didn't pitch well. He got lucky to the point Ronald Acuna Jr. was laughing at him.
I'm not talking about this weekend. I'm saying go back a couple of starts, and you say, well, Giolito has pitched well, right? You're seeing it get better. I get what you're saying.
But like he got by, but
yes,
they wouldn't even let him face, in the 5th inning there at 85 pitches. They weren't even thinking about letting him go because he's given up 4 homers to Matt Olson in his career, who's completely destroyed him.
Is he capable of better? better results.
I think this is what he is.
Oh, Milliken's down
Glass
on
half
it.
empty.
Wow, this doesn't sound like
I'm trying
this
here.
doesn't sound like the Milliken when they signed him, by the way.
Yeah, the stuff just isn't impressing me. It isn't wowing me. Now, the good thing is Cutter Crawford looks like he's going to start a rehab assignment in a week. So if you're talking about someone starting to get up and be able to give you something, he's going to need a couple starts, but you're going to have options. Hell, Richard Fitz tonight with Hunter Dobbins following him.
Dick Fitz.
They're competing essentially for rotation spots right now. So like Giolito's right on that edge. I think he's a 5-starter. He is what he is at this point. I thought when you signed him, you were hoping for a guy who could give you a 4.20 ERA and eat innings.
You know,
right
Milliken,
now he's not good enough to go deep.
You've matured here. Like, you aren't that young Yahoo that just jumps on a podcast and shows your nipples and puts a hood on and all that stuff. Like, you've grown up this year. Now you're a
He
realist.
still does that.
all that stuff. I could do both, baby.
I do one or the other. Yeah. I think he grew up a little bit this year. He's a realist. Like, I'm trying. Like, hey, let's go Sox. Look, it's like, nah, it ain't happening. It's not happening.
One thing that didn't happen over the weekend is Roman Anthony was not called up by the Red Sox. Could there be a Roman Anthony call-up in the coming days?
Yes. Do you think they're waiting to do it at home?
It's possible.
Like, you remember the Meyer stuff last week and you're driving him in and getting a ride and all the cameras on him? I could see them doing it at home, wait until they get back home.
It's tough when you see, the Royals call up, Jack today.
Well, he's the last elite guy, right?
Yeah, well, it's him and Roman Anthony. Jeff Passan put out the article last week saying, Jack Caglione, like him, Roman Anthony, the Royals and the Red Sox are playing this game with the Super 2 deadline, which I really don't think the Super 2 deadline is what's stopping the Red Sox from calling up Roman Anthony. They're scared he's going to finish first or second in Rookie of the Year voting. But for the Royals not to give a damn about the Super 2 and for them not to be scared of a team of one of those guys finishing first or second, that's embarrassing that you're not willing to match that same risk.
Explain the second in Rookie of the Year voting.
So
Why
if
it
you finish
matters.
first or second, the last year of control, basically a player gets a year of free agency. So you
Gets
get
a
a
year
year of
back.
service time. So instead of Roman Anthony's age 27 season, he'll be a free agent after 26.
And this rookie class so far has blown. So it's not going to take much for him to finish first or second if he comes up here and is an effective player. He's going to finish first or second.
And they also know the backdrop of the team is struggling and has been a disappointment. And all of a sudden, if Roman Anthony gets called up and he's a big part of the reason why they start winning ball games, he's going to have a lot of eyeballs and attention on him, and he's going to garner those votes. That's why they are cheaping out. That's why they are keeping him right where he is. However, the senior director of player development, Brian Abraham, not the junior director of player development, but the senior director, Brian Abraham said over the weekend, a lot of excitement coming the next couple of days, little tease. Is that him saying that when they do, as you said, Zoe, now they return to Fenway Park, they're coming home, series with the Angels, does that mean we see him this week at Fenway?
It could, or it could mean like Shakira's going to redo her concert here. Brooks is
very, very possible, right?
Like, what
Figure out
else
the
can it
stage.
be? This dude's got a huge neck, too. He's a big dude. How old is he?
21.
21.
Yeah, and his hips don't lie.
Jesus Christmas. He looks like he's 27. Like, he don't look like a 21-year-old. Meyer does. Yeah, I hope they call him up this week. That'd be great. Yeah, of course that's what it is. That's what the tease is. What the hell else could it be? There's nothing else it could be.
I think he was joking, and he was talking about Nate and coming up.
Well, then why's Core saying he's kicking down? He's not knocking on the door. He's knocking the damn door down.
100%. He's been doing it for months.
Over the weekend, Craig Breslow talked about Alex Cora and his job security. Were you expecting that over the weekend? I wasn't.
No, because it feels like there's a divide there. It's like one against the other, especially over the Devers stuff. But if they're going to do anything, you got to sort of put it out there that we're a united front, right? Like, that's for the betterment of the team. You have to. You have to say you back him, right? Like, if you don't, like, what the hell does that do for you? You were the freaking, 10th, 11th guy that took the damn gig to begin with. He's the guy who got the extension a year ago. Now, whether or not he's living up to it, that remains to be seen. But if they're going to do anything, give it a shot this month. You got to come out. You got to back him. You got to get the people off his back.
He said, we have a lot of confidence in Alex's ability to lead this group. That doesn't mean that we don't have conversations every day about what we might be missing or what more we can do. He said, we obviously made a commitment to Alex. We're going to see that through. Right now, it's about making sure we're doing everything we can to enable the 26 guys on our roster to help us win as many games as possible. Here's what he did not say. He did not say Alex Cora has done a good job.
Correct.
He did not.
He
said we have confidence that he can do a good job, which is fine. But you did not say at any point that Alex Cora has done a good job with this team. And in terms of his job security, you said we made a commitment to him and we're going to see that through. Until when? The very end of the contract?
You can see it through.
I mean, you wouldn't
because you have to pay him anyway.
No GM is going to tell you. And again, I apologize for calling him a GM when he's a CBO. I'm not using that tool bag term. No GM in baseball is going to tell you our manager has a contract for the next 3 years. He'll be there until the very end. Nobody is doing that. So to say we're going to see it through until when? Until July? Until August? Until 2026?
Until they're eliminated?
No one makes the promise that you're under contract, your job is safe. Nobody does that, and he didn't do that there.
I thought he took
so
it a
it's
step
really
further.
Answer the next part. Until when? And he did not say Alex Cora has done a good job because he hasn't. And it's obvious that he hasn't.
He also put it out there that, we speak, we talk, and we try to see what we can do to fix things and how to make things better. Meaning things aren't going well.
Right. And
so
I think I think it's what you're saying, Zoe, which is they're not firing this week, and they've got to create a united front and the impression that, no, we're in it together and we're going to fix this thing. Because if you say anything to the contrary, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose.
Oh, you're at break point right now.
Yeah, he has to say this.
We were at break point last week, I thought, but going into the Atlanta series. Like, you got to get off the mat.
So this headline right here on our graphic on the simulcast, NBC Sports Boston, show of support, I don't think it was.
For now.
I think it was superficial. I don't think it's a real staunch defense of Alex Cora. I think it's just what the guy has to say at this moment in time.
Well, I'll be honest. I also think it's naive to think that this is Breslow's call. I think Cora has more juice in this whole organization than Craig Breslow does. So when push comes to shove, in terms of calling for somebody's job, I don't know if Breslow has the juice in this organization right now to go to John Henry and say that I want to make a move at manager, and John Henry's going to support that decision.
Yeah, the organizational chart is upside down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is funny when you look at how they tried to frame everything a year ago, where when Craig Breslow came in, we're not telling him what to do anything when it comes to Alex Cora. He's going to take his time and he'll make a decision when it goes. And then you paint this entire picture of what happened in July last year, going to Colorado, doing all these different things. Breslow knowing in that moment, I need to get a deal done before the All-Star break.
So when it comes to hope going forward and these months of June and July, sorry, I got distracted there for a moment. Got Louth over there fiddling around.
It's
with
not
the
Louth's job to
thermostat.
fix the AC.
Yeah, I don't understand. But I appreciate him, though.
I know, he's got
Jack of all trades, man.
His father-in-law's pretty handy,
He's a
You need some tools, Louth?
He's got a tool belt on.
he's a technically aware guy. Bob the Builder style. He's in there, got his work boots on and his hard hat. He's going to get it figured out for us.
Buckled up, Louth.
I can feel it. Okay. June and July under Alex Cora, going back the last several years. And thank you for the math on this, Neil Collins and the research team. Always coming through in the clutch. Here's what's gone on in those 2 months. The Red Sox in 2021 over June and July went 31-22. Now, that was obviously Milliken's best year as a Red Sox fan, as we've heard many, many times.
I miss you. I miss you a lot.
First place in the wild card with a 6.5 game lead at the end of July. That's where they ended up at the end of July. Go to 2022, 23, and 24. Now, these are obviously years that were less impressive for the Red Sox. In 2022, the Red Sox were 28-25 over those 2 months, and they were 3.5 games back of the wild card, the third spot. In 23, they were 28-23, 5 games above 500. They were 2.5 out of the wild card. Even last year, they were 28-22 over June and July, 6 games above 500, and they were 2.5 games out of a wild card at the end of the month, at the end of July in 2024. We had hope all 3 of the previous seasons. Now, we are still very angry at the Red Sox during those seasons, but I just want to know if they've got the possibility of giving us hope with a solid June and July and solid Junes and Julys the way they've had 4 years running under Alex Cora. A mediocre, below 500 4 years has still produced good Junes and Julys.
Yeah. And the weather breaks for you, too. And you should be better at home, with warmer weather. It's going to be hot at the end of this week, but, they just didn't feel like they could come out of the gate because it was too cold. It was too chilly. They're worried about wearing hoods, double layering. You don't have that on the table now. So go out and play well at home.
To their credit, they're 16 and 14. They've been better at home this year. It's the road. They're 13 and 18. Which they just went to Atlanta and handled business, but that team's in the same spot you are where they're underperforming. But at least they have the talent on the roster right now that they're going to get better.
And despite their losing record, they are 3.5 games out of a wild card right now.
That's the number people keep talking about.
The problem is they've got 4 teams ahead of them that are non-playoff teams at the moment.
That's what I'm looking at.
They would need to leapfrog 5 teams to get into a wild card spot. The way you do it is you start playing well, as we know, but can they produce a couple of good months here to put themselves better in the conversation come August 1st? That's what I'm concerned with right now. I'm not concerned with do they make it in, do they not? I'm concerned with are they capable of keeping this thing together for a couple of more months?
And I think even if you keep it close, what's the line for them? Because I think in a year where they're over the luxury tax, they're willing to punt on this year much quicker than you'd expect.
Man, I don't love that.
Especially if
you got 2 months before the trade deadline.
If your playoff odds are like 17%, you're going to hover in that area come the trade deadline. I think they're terrified of repeating 2022. I think staying over the luxury tax and messing up like you did that year, that is worst case scenario. That set the franchise back a couple years in terms of how they were doing things. I think Craig Breslow will do whatever it takes to avoid that.
Because, again, your tickets to Fenway are so cheap right now. They're not charging enough for those tickets or for those concessions. And because of that, they don't have the money to be over those taxes. They don't want to
call up Roman.
Age 27 season, Beetle.
Yeah, I mean, they're so broke that they fear years of service time with prospects right now because
that second apron.
They're just so damn broke. I mean, what charity John Henry has given us. I mean, what a charitable giving man he is.
It feels like it's Arthur Blank, like on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep all our concessions down.
Yeah.
Like the Masters. We're only going to charge you $1.50.
I mean, real retro pricing at Fenway.
Do your kids like the $8.50 hot dog?
They loved them. Loved them.
It's a problem. They go down too easy. And you're at $17 for 2 hot dogs. Like, oh, God. Could have gone to Costco. Had the big boy for $1.50.
Not if you see his guy, Gene. Gene will take care of him.
Oh,
Special.
Hey.
Was that refill bleach?
It's a free Coke. Here's a refill. It's a refill. It brought back the souvenir cup.
Gene.
It's just a refill. That's all it was.
It's good memory, McCone.